like to welcome everybody to the Town of Babylon Zoning Board of Appeals. Please listen to the rules and procedures that will follow for tonight's meeting.
Good evening, and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Town of Babylon Zoning Board of Appeals. The following is the procedure that will be followed tonight. The matters will be called in the order they appear on the calendar, with adjourned matters being called at the end of the regularly scheduled matters. Matters cannot be heard prior to their published scheduled time. When your matter is called, please submit the affidavit of posting to the secretary and proceed to the podium and give your name and address. The chairperson will then swear you in and read into the record information we have from your application, comments from various town departments, and any correspondence received on your application. The chairperson will then ask you to make whatever presentation you wish to make to the board. After you have made your presentation, the board will ask whatever questions the board deems appropriate, and then we will ask for comments from the public. If you wish to speak for or against an application, we ask that you wait until you're acknowledged. Come forward, give us your name and address, tell us where your property is in relation to the property that's in question tonight, and then please direct your comments to the board, not the applicant or the applicant's representative. We have to keep a record, and we cannot do that if there are people talking over each other or cross conversations. If someone has spoken for or against an application, and they have said exactly the same thing that you wish to say, it will have the same force and effect in the record if you give your name and address, are sworn in, and say that you join in those comments. If you have anything additional to say, please don't hesitate to do so, but keep in mind that you will be given only one opportunity to speak. After the public has spoken, the board may ask the applicant to come back to answer any questions that may have come up as a result of the public comments, or for the applicant to summarize. When the applicant comes back to answer any additional questions, if that happens, that does not start a second round of public comments. Once the matter has been heard, various things may occur. The board may decide the application immediately. It may reserve decision. If the board reserves decision, that does not mean the matter is approved or denied. It just means that the board needs more time to decide, may want to go out and look at the site again, or might want to review the documents and testimony further before making a decision. In either event, the applicant will receive the board's decision in writing shortly after the board makes its decision. If the application is approved, that does not mean that you can then go ahead and start construction, or whatever it is that you requested from the board. You will have to wait for the building permit to be obtained from the building department before your go-ahead. On some occasions, the matter may be continued for another night. If it is continued, in most cases it will be for the submission of documents, a new survey, new plans, or something of that nature. If that's the case, no one needs to come back on the new date. The documents will be submitted and no further testimony will be taken. On rare occasions, a matter may be continued for future testimony. If that's the case, then people would have to come back to testify. If matters are adjourned at an open meeting on the scheduled date of hearing, no further notice need be given unless specifically required by the board on the date the adjournment is granted. 3 rules that may affect your ability to proceed tonight. 1. If the sign was not posted for 10 days, we cannot hold the hearing tonight. 2. If you commence this proceeding while you own the property, but no longer own the property, and you are here now to continue with the application, you will need either the written consent of the new owner or the new owner to be present for the hearing. This situation could come about if you sold your house or building, money was held in escrow at closing for a certificate of occupancy or permit, and you're here tonight to clear that up. Lastly, if your application is a commercial application, and it's other than a renewal, and there is more than one tenant in the building, then you need your landlord to be here. Is there any applicant that has any difficulty with those situations and would need an adjournment tonight?
Is there anyone that would need an adjournment? Please rise and join the board in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, before we begin, there is one adjournment on our agenda tonight. It is application 24-161. Property is located in Copeg on Great Neck Road. Is anybody here on that application? It's being adjourned to September the 26th. First application tonight is application 24-153 of Richard and Melissa Pelletier, property located in Lindenhurst. Come on up. Yep. Name and address for the record.
Rick Pelletier, 10 Gladys Street, Lindenhurst, New York.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated August 29, 2024. Environmental control memo dated September 11, 2024. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. We have not gotten Suffolk County planning on this application, so we need to hold that, but that's nothing for you. It'll come to us, to the zoning board, probably by next week.
Okay.
A survey by Elizabeth McQuilkin dated November 29th, 2022. Tax map acting as an area map. And,
Chairman, there's 5 photographs.
okay, what would you like to tell us about your application?
Sure. So our house is kind of old, and it was built in many pieces, and we don't have a basement or really a usable attic. So we are asking to build a shed. It's a little bit on the large side. And also, I'm asking to put it closer to the fence. You can actually see in the picture right there, what is on the other side of the fence is a doctor's office parking lot. And what they have in that corner is a dumpster. And I'm not trying to make a big deal out of it, but all of their trees that they had planted there all died a couple of years ago, so it's not an attractive thing on the other side. So what I'm hoping to do is put the shed in that corner, kind of block the view facing that way a little bit, and also keep the larger area where you can see the inflatable pool that we have. I'm hoping to save that space for something like a pool, possibly in the future.
Okay, thank you. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Rignier.
I basically answered my question on why you're putting it there. I get it, you would want to look at it. I mean, if you went to the west side of the property, you wouldn't have to even come here for any variance. There's plenty of room on that side. If you want it set where the trees are, that's where you really want it?
Well, so the other problem with the west side, which I mean, so I guess that's this side. The other problem with that side of the property is it is low graded, and it actually floods on a fairly regular basis. The whole street comes down, and then our house is actually in like a 3-foot dip, before it gets out to Wellwood Avenue there. And so that side of the yard really floods quite a bit. That's why I was thinking like maybe someday something like a pool, it wouldn't be hurt by a little bit of water. But I wouldn't necessarily really want a shed in that side. We used to have a shed like 9 years ago when we bought the property, and it flooded more than once.
I had no further questions, Chair.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
I believe it is 12 and a half.
It will be under 14?
Under 14.
Under
Yep.
14, okay. Oh, yeah, we need, okay, yeah. All right, so we have to hold this application. So we're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision, keep the record open for Suffolk County Planning. Again, it's not something you have to do. They'll send it to us, and then we can make a decision on the application, okay?
Great, thank you very much.
Should be by next week.
Wonderful.
Okay. Thank you. Next application is application 24-154 of James Beach, Jacqueline DeSantis, and Teresa Beach, property located in West Babb. Name and address for the record.
Jacqueline DeSantis,
You can pull that down.
207 Kellum Street, West Babylon.
Do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated August 29, 2024. Environmental control memo dated September 11, 2024. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Tax map acting as an area map. Survey by Peter J. Barbizon dated March 3rd, 2020. And
There's 4 photographs, Mr. Chairman.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
Yes, when we first moved about 4 years ago, it's a 3-bedroom, and we were 5 people. Now we added another baby, and there's no room in the house. So we're requesting permission to build the second story right above the existing footprint of the house.
Okay, thank you. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Shepherd.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. So you're going straight up,
Yep,
okay? And when it's going to retain owner occupied,
yes,
one family?
yes.
No second kitchen, no
No.
accessory apartment? Thank you.
You're
Mr. Chairman,
welcome.
I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. Good, John? You guys good?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve application 24-154. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Next application is application 24-152 of Nicholas Colasacco and Liana D'Amico. Sorry.
How you guys doing?
Name and address for the record, please.
Nick Colasacco, 147 Waldo Street.
And you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated August 29th, 2024. Environmental control memo dated September 11th, 2024. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by Dylan Holgan dated June 5th, 2024. Tax map acting as an area map. And,
Chairman, there's 4 photographs.
okay. What would you like to tell us about the application?
Sure. Yeah. So my fiance and I, we recently engaged, getting married in 2.5 short weeks. We
Good luck.
purchased. Thank you. we purchased our first home May 1st. Really, what we're looking to accomplish here, my fiance's parents are in an unfortunate financial position, so they're going to be living with us. In the document here, it shows that there was previously a permitted accessory apartment in the unit, or in the dwelling, excuse me. And what we're asking for is ideally twofold. So for one is to legalize the finished basement, and in doing so, we're going to be putting in 2 egress windows, and I believe that is where the setback variance is where we're asking for approval. One point of clarity on that, I see it says diminish the total side yard from 25 feet to 18.2. Without any basement entrance or egress windows, as shown on the survey, the existing setback is only 22.9 feet. So really the variance as we're looking for is diminished from 22.9 to 18.2.
No, the code is 25, so you're looking to diminish to 25, from 25. And
Okay.
you're saying that it's not 18.2?
Yeah, from corner of the house to corner of the house, it's 15 feet on one side and 7.9 on the other. Correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Nonetheless, we are seeking approval for that, and that is ideally to legalize the finished basement, right? I'm trying to follow the process here. We've done a bit of work up until this point, and we've been really at a standstill until this approval. So ideally, we're just looking to legalize everything we have, take care of my in-laws, which would be, living in that accessory apartment, and, all the while, utilize the finished basement as just extra space. We don't have the full house to ourselves. There is no intention to utilize that as another apartment. There's no kitchen in that basement. We're planning to have kids in the next year or two, so the idea is just have a little bit of extra space. Currently within that recreational space, if you will, it is full of boxes and furniture. It's used as a storage unit until we can get this sorted and we can actually move into the house officially. So yeah, any consideration, I genuinely appreciate it.
Okay. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Dellavecchia.
Good evening, congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
So are you planning to apply for an accessory apartment?
Absolutely. One thing to add there, I believe in working with Doreen and building department. I was told, let's go through zoning first, and as we then go to file for building apartment permits, in tandem, we will file for accessory.
Because without the accessory apartment permit, then the upstairs kitchen is illegal.
Sure.
So if you're not applying for that.
Yeah, and that's full intention to apply, absolutely.
And what,
Okay. Okay, great. Yeah, if we can do that now, I'm more than happy to. One other point of clarity there, that was previously an approved accessory apartment, and we have record of that as well, a number of receipts that I'm happy to provide if needed. But yeah, again, the goal is really take care of the in-laws, have a little bit of space for us on the main floor in the basement, and just move the project along with the rest of the work we have to do.
okay, and what is the use for the basement going to be?
Movie room, potentially. I work from home, so potentially a space that I can do a little bit of work. Really, it's just extra work. First floor, where you know the main dwelling is, it's about 1,000 square feet. With the in-laws upstairs, that limits us quite a bit. So ideally, we're just looking to get this sorted, have a little bit of extra space for the family.
Do you need a 3-piece bathroom in the basement, or can it just be a 2-piece
It
bathroom?
would be nice. I mean, granted, the in-laws upstairs are utilizing the other bathroom.
Like,
To have one shower with a family and a kid in the future may be difficult. If possible, we'd absolutely love to keep that. But again, I understand there's policy.
Yeah, because, it could be used in the future, not saying by you, but in the future, that could be turned into an apartment as well.
Sure.
And then we have, 3 apartments in one house.
That's definitely not the intention.
Yeah.
One shower with a family, with in-laws, holidays could be a challenge. Ideally, if we can keep that, I'd appreciate that.
I get it. I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Would you agree to the following conditions? That the basement not be used for cooking or sleeping?
Absolutely.
So it's going to be storage, use only, play,
As is now, yeah.
no bedrooms.
Exactly right, yep.
How many rooms are currently in there? I forgot to ask that.
Excuse me, in the basement?
Yes.
It's really one, there's no doors other than the bathroom, so it's really one open room.
Okay. So would you agree to not put any doors in there?
Absolutely.
Okay.
No need.
And then you already agreed to apply for the accessory apartment permit?
Yeah, and if I can do that tomorrow, as soon as tomorrow, I'll do that as well.
Okay. Yeah. So we're going to hold it, and we'd like for you to apply for the accessory apartment
Okay.
permit before we make a decision.
Okay. In terms of timing, if I apply for that tomorrow, how long does it typically take to get a decision?
We have a meeting next week.
And I would have to come back?
No.
No.
Okay, got it.
No, you're done.
And then how am I, thank you. And then how am I
You're getting
notified?
married, You're done.
Yeah, thank you. How am I
You get a
notified of that?
decision in the mail.
Get a decision in the mail. All right, thank you so much.
All right.
Appreciate it, guys.
Good luck.
Thank you. Thanks.
Next application is application 24-155 of Yvonne Adia, property located in Wyandanch.
John?
Did I ask? Does anybody want to be heard on the application that was just heard? No. Okay, so we're going to close the hearing, reserve decision, keep the record open for accessory apartment permit. Name and address for the record?
Ivan Adia, 1 Brook Avenue, Wyandanch, New York, 11798.
Okay. And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated August 29, 2024. Suffolk Department of Environmental Control memo dated September 11, 2024. You should have gotten a copy of this. Did you get this when you came in? It should be part of that package there. There's an item there about this being in close proximity to regulated freshwater wetlands. You need to know that. Tax map acting as an area map, a survey by William Hogan, dated August 12th, 2024. And
Chairman, there's 9 photographs.
okay, what would you like to tell us about the application? I'm sorry. What would you like to tell us about, what are you doing on the property?
Okay, couple years ago, got married and I have 4 kids from my old relationships. I have custody of 2 of them. The other 2 come to me every weekend, and my wife has 2 kids too. So we're planning to extend the house, make a second floor story. And for now, we kind of split out, and we really want to do this to get the family together. The extension gets too close to the backyard fence, and this is what the issue will be. I will be 6.5 feet away from the back fence, so this is why the permit is requested.
Okay. So that's one of our concerns, is that in particularly the 6.5 is, even though that's not a through street right now, it's a paper street, but still it could be made into a regular street. It's a big extension. It's like, looks like it's bigger than the house currently. Like, what's going to be in that extension?
A 2-door garage, and I'm extending the living room and the kitchen, and then after that it's going to be a 2-door garage, and then above that the whole second story. And in addition, is on the survey, it looks like a Commonwealth, a continuation of Commonwealth Avenue. I spoke with the environmental department, and they say that area behind the house is wet floor, so they will never build a road over there just because it's also too close to Carl's River.
Is there any possibility that you can cut that back somewhat? What did we say it was, 6.5? Could you shorten that up a little bit? That would give us, we would get more room there, so it would only be 6.5?
Excuse me, I don't understand that.
So, you know where we're talking about the 6.5, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, is there any way, if you shorten that up a little bit, the extension, then it won't be 6.5, it will be something more, and because it's on an angle, I can't really tell you what it's gonna be, but, or, you know, you had this all drawn up by an architect and everything?
Yes, sir.
So is there any way that he can look at this and say, is there a way that they can make this so that 6.5 becomes something bigger? Yeah. 10 is gonna be. 9 or 10 feet. Only 14 here. No. You know, now you got nothing. Right. So what's the garage is 2-car, you said?
Yes, 2-door garage.
So it's 20, so the garage now is currently 20 feet wide. Can you make that, could you make that smaller? What do you need for? 20 feet. That's what you need? Yeah, you could do 19 feet or 18 feet and still get 2 cars. Gotta give you 9 feet on each side. Right. Okay, So we're just talking about up here what would work as opposed to the 20, so we're looking at probably, yeah, 19. Well, okay, so that's our concern, if there's any way that you can cut that back, and if you want to get back to us with something different on the plans.
I can ask, but how much would you recommend?
That's a difficult
The angles,
question to answer right now. The architect could come up with a different, give us some more clearance between the back corner of the house to the street.
What is the distance that you will approve? 9, 10 feet?
And going to be hard.
If I
8 and 9 feet.
9 feet? Okay. Is any way that I can, because I need 2 cars, if I get the garage smaller to get to those 9, is any possibility to
You could
extend?
cut back the garage 2 feet, that gets you 9 feet in each bay. That saves you 2 feet, that would put you at 8.5. That's if you cut the garage back 2 feet.
2 feet?
Yes.
Okay.
And then that would put you at 8.5.
8.5 feet?
Yes.
Thank you.
You'd have to calculate that.
Yeah.
Not exactly 8.5 feet.
okay. So, can you go back to the architect and talk to him about this and see, is there
Sure,
a way
sir.
that you can cut this back?
Yeah, if it's no choice, I will have to make the adjustments.
All right,
See if
so,
he can give us a greater setback at that rear corner.
Excuse me?
If he can give a greater setback at that rear corner.
Yes.
all right.
Do you have anything in writing from the environmental department that you spoke to?
No, they gave me their business card. I can give you the name of the
You
person.
could get something from them that street will never be built on,
That'll make a whole
that'll make a
difference.
whole lot of difference.
Okay,
They're
and then
never
I
gonna
will,
develop
and
that
then I
street.
won't have to, I won't have to do the adjustment if I get a,
If you could get something in writing, I think, we could probably work with that, yes.
could
Get something
consider
from
it,
them,
okay,
all right?
okay. How I,
You can submit it to the zoning board office. If you can get something, submit it to the zoning board office, and it'll get back to us,
okay.
all right?
Do I have to come back to another hearing?
No. Everything's done, that would tell us that that's not ever gonna be a street over there, and that would probably make a difference in our opinion of what we're talking about here, and, would this application be okay? All right?
Still other points on the application.
Fencing accessory structures.
So, okay. All fencing and accessory structures, buildings, suggesting the property lines are to be removed? What is, so there's a shed all the way in the corner over there? Like right on the point, like there's a
Yes,
shed?
yes, that shed
You
will
need
be
to
removed.
Can you remove that?
Yes, and yes, it will definitely be removed.
And also, all this fencing, existing fencing,
Yes, I will remove
that's
the,
all outside of your property line, basically,
yes,
all right? So those two things have to be done also.
yes, definitely I will
What else?
remove that,
No habitable space permitted in the garage, would you agree to that?
yes,
And basement to be storage use only as per the applicant's plans.
yes.
So it will be storage, be no livable space down there, no
No,
bedrooms?
we use it as a gym and we have a ping pong, make the
Okay,
kids play
that's fine.
recreational.
That's fine, that's not a problem, okay? So you agree to those things, to take down the fence in the shed, and no habitable space in the garage, and the basement be only used for storage or open room,
Right, yes,
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. We're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. You'll get the decision in the mail. Try and get us something. The sooner the better. And when you do, we can take a look at your application again, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right, good luck. I got you. Okay. Next application is application 24-156 of Kevette Weaver, property located in Amityville. Name and address for the record, please.
First name is Cavett, last name is Weaver. Property address is 4 Rosewood Avenue, Amityville, New York.
Okay, do you affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated August 29th, 2024, environmental control memo dated September 11th, 2024. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey, a tax map, acting as an area map, a survey by Adjo Surveying, Inc., dated March 25th, 2024, and,
Chairman, there's 4 photographs.
okay, what would you like to tell us about the application?
All right, so we have a small request. I have a growing family. We live in a small house, and we like to ask the board for permission to build a dormer on my property so we can have more living space. That is all.
Okay, so that's all you're here for?
That's it, for a dormer.
Turn the hearing over to Mr. Perotti.
Good evening, how you doing?
Fine, sir.
So just for the dormer for the upstairs for a growing family, you said, right?
I'm sorry, sir?
So,
Yeah, just the dormer. We just going up. We're not going out, we just going up.
Okay, so more of the concern that we have on the board is, so you have the concrete patio dog cage
Okay.
and also the shed. You're right on the property line. Can you move that 2 feet?
You know what? As far as the property line, I spoke to my neighbor about it. He's okay with it the way it is. He doesn't have a problem with it.
We do though.
Huh?
We do though. It's,
Yeah.
So you're all the way up to the property line. If you can move that 2 feet, and also, is the shed movable?
That shed been there since, I've been in this house 25 years. That shed been there for 25 years. And, whoa, I really don't want to mess with it.
That's really the 2 major concerns we have. Everything else is good, but
Oh, really?
yeah. Now the dog cage, you don't have the dog staying overnight, do you? What is
No,
can you
he
describe
stays
what-
outside during the day, and at night, he's in the house.
How many dogs do you have?
Only got one,
Just one.
yes.
Okay, so that's the purpose of the dog cage. It's just
Well, you know what? He's my therapy dog, and I mean, he needs a lot of space. He's a big dog, so I mean, to keep him inside all day long, he needs a place to run around with. So we just keep him outside during the day, and at night, like I said, we bring him in the house.
bring them in the house.
Yeah.
Not overnight then.
Nah.
And so you don't want to try to move that 2 feet from the property line, the concrete, or the shed, because that's where the issue is.
If I say no, you're gonna deny me?
There's a few other conditions as well. If we do approve you, do you agree that the basement to be storage only, no living, cooking, or sleeping as per your plans?
Absolutely.
And would you agree for the shed to be relocated to a conforming location?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I
thank you.
agree.
Mr. Chairman, I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board?
So if we're going to relocate the shed and the patio, can delete variances number 3 and 4.
Okay with that? Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to delete variance 3 and 4 on application 24-156.
Second. Aye.
I'm sorry. You made a motion to delete?
Delete variance number 3 and 4 on application 24-156.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the concrete, yeah.
Number 5 as well.
No, 5 is for the dog cage.
All right.
Good?
It's a concrete paved dog cage. So if he's cutting it back,
Shed and the-
concrete,
That's, yeah, I was looking over here. I was looking over here. Oh, this is right on the property line on this, okay, yeah.
Correct.
Yep. Okay. Anything else?
That's all, I'm good.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. You want to, you good? You guys good?
Chairman, I make a motion to approve application 24-156 with the conditions that the basement be storage use only, no living, cooking, or sleeping per the applicant plans. Number 2, the shed to be relocated to a conforming location. Approved as amended.
second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay,
Thank you.
good luck.
I held my breath all that time.
Next application is application 24-162 of Maria Benitez, property located in Amityville.
Better say we got-
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the record, Nicole Blanda. I'm an attorney at Bazell, Blanda and Visconti with offices at 535 Broad Hollow Road in Melville.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated August 29, 2024, environmental control memo dated September 10, 2024. I'm sure you got a copy of this, just some things on there.
Yes.
Survey by Elizabeth McQuilkin dated May 5th, 2020, tax map acting as an area map. And
Chairman, there's 3 photographs.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
I'm here tonight on behalf of the property owner seeking variances in connection with constructing a new single-family dwelling on this vacant parcel. This parcel is located on the south side of Smith Street, about 175 feet west of Albany Avenue. It has 100 feet of frontage on Smith Street. However, it is a very shallow lot, so on average, it has about 70 feet of depth. It's got 72.16 on the west side and 68.31 on the east side. So that's kind of an abnormal sized lot for the town of Babylon. It does have a lot area of 7,419.18 square feet, and it is zoned Residence B. You could see on the aerial that this parcel is one of 4 parcels that have this shallow depth within this area. It's not actually on a filed map, it's described property. The applicant is seeking to construct a new single-family home. It would be owner-occupied, no accessory apartment. Naturally, the development needs variances because of this shallow depth. So with a street frontage of 100 feet, we comply with Residence B. However, because of this depth, we require a lot area variance to reduce from 10,000 square feet to 7,419.18 square feet provided. That's technically an existing condition, given the size of the parcel. We meet the side yard setbacks. The 2 variances that we are also generating because of this shallow depth is front yard and rear yard. So we're asking to reduce from 30 feet required to 19 at the front, and a rear yard 40 foot is required. We're proposing 20.55. Our side yards are pretty big. We have 31.47 on the east side and 27.92 on the west side. So we're giving quite a bit of side yard. We're proposing a 2-story home with 4 bedrooms, 2 full baths, internal garage, and a full basement. We do agree to the condition to not have walls in the basement. I believe that's one of the covenants that was requested. This application, as noted in the planning department's memo as well, is very similar to what was approved next door to the east as part of a subdivision back in 2004. So that approval, both planning board and zoning board, created 137 Smith Street and 139 Smith Street. The major difference with those two is the lot area for those 2 parcels. Those parcels have 5,659 square feet, so we're about 2,000 square feet greater than those 2 parcels. And they were also granted a front yard and a rear yard variance back then. Front was to 20, and I believe the rear was to about 21.52. I have copies of those approvals for the board. The other lot, so that's 13.1 and 13.2. The lot to the west of us is built in approximately 1953. That also has it's a very substandard lot area of 5,475 square feet. So again, we're over by 2,000 square feet compared to our neighbors. To the rear of us is vacant wooded land. This new home will finish off this area and will be, as I said, completely in character, given that the dimensions and that it's in line setback-wise with the other parcels. We consent to all the covenants. And if the board has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I'm going to hand up the approvals for 13.1 and 13.2.
Okay, thank you. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Perotti.
Good evening, how you doing?
Hi, how are you?
You pretty much answered most of my questions, but I do have the question about the basement. Is it going to be a finished basement, or what is the use for it?
Mostly for storage. It's going to be open. I believe, like I said, in the conditions or the covenants, it says basement to be open, undivided area. So just as you see it shown on the plan, that's how it will be.
Okay. Do you agree to the covenants and restrictions? I know you said
Yes,
yes. And you also, do you agree to the conditions as well?
yes.
Chairman, I don't have any further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Chairman, I make a motion to approve. Where's my paper? Make a motion to approve application 24162 with the subject to the covenant restrictions and to the conditions on the plan memo.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you. Have a great night.
All right, take care. Next application is application 24151 of LG Lindenhurst Associates LLC, property located in Lindenhurst. Okay. Name and address for the record.
Brian Weber, Weber Law Group, 290 Broad Hollow Road, Melville, New York, for the applicant.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated September 5th, 2024. Environmental control memo dated September 11th, 2024. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A tax map acting as an area map. A survey by Nelson and Pope dated February 28th, 1998. And
Chairman, there's 3 photographs and also a survey by Nelson and Pope dated June 17, 2024.
okay, and there's correspondence on here too. Yeah, he must. Yeah, the correspondence is from Mr. Guarino. He's asking to keep the record open to make comments on the application tonight. And I guess that's it. Okay, what would you like to tell us about the application?
Okay. Thank you very much. Again, Brian Weber for the applicant. With me, I have Osmond Barry from Nelson and Pope, who has prepared a comprehensive memorandum in support of the variances. If I can, I'd like to hand that in, and this is applicant's Exhibit 1. And Mr. Barry is available to testify regarding any questions that the board may have on any of the relief. Also with me is Jason Lerner. He is the third generation owner of the property. The property was originally built by his grandfather. I have been before this board many times for applications related to this property. It is particularly well kept. It is one of the most well-known shopping centers in the town. It has no violations, as you know. We rarely, if ever, have any concerns with this property from the town. If I may say, it is particularly well managed and has been a great community asset for many years. I have, excuse me, applicant exhibit number 2, which I'd also like to hand up, which is a survey of other signs in the neighborhood in and around this shopping center. What we are seeking tonight are variances to allow for a second directory sign, which this property has never had, on the corner of Spiegelhagen and Wellwood Avenue. This particular area of the shopping center for many years was occupied by a Sears, as you likely know. Also for many years, that Sears was vacant. It has taken many years for that area of the shopping center to become fully tenanted. I have been before this board for approvals for Blink Fitness, which took up part of that former Sears, and for Go Health, which also took up part of that former Sears. Immediately prior to COVID, we received approvals for a restaurant to take the remaining 9,000 square feet of vacant space of that Sears. With the onset of COVID, that deal unfortunately could not move forward. The restaurateur could not move forward. So since COVID, this 9,000 square feet has remained vacant. It is now being tenanted by a Five Below, and from what my understanding, everybody is quite excited for that to open. This particular sign will be on that side of the property, and this sign really is intended to call attention to those 3 new tenants and bring attention to the entirety of the shopping center from that location. The center has had only one directory sign for many years, but in the applicant's quest to continually upgrade the shopping center, bringing in these 3 new tenants, which has taken quite some time and a lot of investment on their part, really does, in planning for those tenants, call for the need for a very tasteful second directory sign. The reason why I've given you the examples of signage in the area is that this sign really is particularly well designed. It'll be a significant upgrade to much of the directory signage that's in the area. And as you can see, much of the directory signage in the area is of the same size, if not larger. My last comment on this is also that the relief that we're seeking is really no of any significance greater than the relief that we sought for and received for the directory sign that's on Sunrise Highway, which also is well built, well constructed, and attractive. That's it. Okay. Thank you.
I'll turn the hearing over to Mr. Igney.
Mr. Weber, in the planning memo, do you see that planning has a few concerns about the size and location of where the sign is going to be located and traffic obstructions?
Sure, it'll be, I know I just handed it to you, so it's in your report. The overall size is just a few square feet bigger than the size of the sign that we've had approved on the Sunrise Highway side. And I would say as follows, there are 9 tenants at the property now. Really just a few extra square feet, which we're asking for, which is about 6 or so square feet more, would enable one more tenant panel if in the future one of these larger tenant spaces needed to be divided. So it really just provides for the future growth of just one particular additional tenant if, for example, one of the larger tenants that are there now had to be divided into an additional space. The other concern had to do with site distance and the ability for there to be seen cars exiting and entering the property In discussions with Mr. Barry, he pointed out that the corner where Spiegelhagen meets Wellwood, there is a traffic light. So the concerns of visibility don't come into play as much as they would if you had a different type of corner. But he can certainly address those as well if you'd like, but it's also covered in his memo.
Mr. Weber, quick question also. The tenants that are going to be listed on a new sign, are they going to be also listed on the existing sign?
Yes, yes.
Everybody
We're looking to duplicate both for uniformity purposes, yes.
enough room on that sign?
Yes, we don't have to seek any additional sign, correct.
Talking about the existing sign, I noticed that that's expired, that it expired in '21.
So that's a funny thing. So that was March of 2021, which probably with what was going on at that time.
Right?
Say it again?
COVID?
You think? So that was probably, we were just hitting new vaccines, a little hysteria, so a notice may have gone out from the town. I certainly would say it probably did. But interestingly enough, we actually have been renewing the permit for that sign. And we actually recently renewed the permit in August for that sign. So it appears that we have to come back to the zoning board to renew the variance. We will absolutely do that. But I would request, because I know the memo says that you would, the recommendation is to reserve decision until that's done. But that, as you know, is a multi-month process. We have recently been before this board to renew a directory sign for the same shopping center owner, in Deer Park. I make the representation and ask for the board's courtesy that they not hold their decision on this particular sign. For us to renew that, we are going to renew it. We'll start that application tomorrow. But Five Below is looking to open at the end of October, so we'd like to have this sign certainly well underway by the end by October for Five Below's grand opening.
We would want at least submitted to the sign department. We understand it takes longer to get to zoning board, but the application needs to be submitted at least to the sign department for the renewal.
For the denial, right? Okay, okay, that's fine.
I will say, I remember this being approved numerous times by us, so.
And again, I'm making the representation, on the record at the public hearing, and I keep my word. We'll be in with that application as quickly as
We'll
possible.
wait, just get that in, and then we'll tell you.
That's fine.
Otherwise, I have no further questions.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? So we're going to close the hearing, we're going to reserve decision. We are going to keep the record open. You've got a copy of the letter from Mr. Guarino, so he wants to, send something into the board, which we...
Okay, I mean, I'm not sure what that could possibly be. I think there's a misunderstanding on his part as to where the sign's located. But his client is also a fee owner of part of this property, so I'm not exactly quite sure, but...
Maybe you should call.
Yeah, but I defer to the board's judgment on that.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right, thank you.
All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, application 24-161 has been adjourned to September the 26th. The next application is application 24-159 of Mendoza Playhouse Corp., property located in West Babylon.
Good evening to the board. My appearance, Bernard J. Zimnach, 1909 Great Neck Road, Suite B, Copiague, New York, 11726.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated September 4th, 2024. Fire marshal's report dated August 28th, 2024. Environmental control memo dated September 11th, 2024. If we were to approve this application, we need a negative declaration. Tax map acting as an area map. A survey by Michael K. Wicks dated February 19th, 2024. And
Congrats, Mr. Chairman. A site plan by Howley Gephardt dated February 20th, 2024.
And we are missing the affidavit of posting.
You good? Okay, what would you like to tell us about the application?
So this application is before the board. My client is the new owner of Medusa's, well, he's the owner of the new location there. He's renting it from the Gaza Family Fund. They're the owners of the building currently. From my understanding, this location has been approved previously a couple times. In essence, we're doing this proactively because I believe the current permit expires in a when a new tenant moves in. So the tenant moved in, my client wasn't aware that he had to file that quickly. There were problems, we rectified them, we were working with the building department diligently. We timely filed the building permit as quickly as we could. That was approved. The interior was changed. My client had pretty much removed all the old carpeting, walling, things like that, that was not too sanitary. He made it look nice. Repainted the floor with epoxy, I believe, so it looks pretty nice inside. And currently, he's before the board asking for this application to be approved there for a special exception for adult/retail use.
Okay, turn the hearing over, where we going? West Babylon. Mr. Shepherd.
How are you?
Good evening.
So it's the same owner and a new tenant?
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And what was being built? What was there, something about a,
So inside, there were four booths, and those booths were removed, and it became an open space where, kind of like a DJ can stand and just have music playing.
and we've applied for permits for this?
This was applied, this was approved back in May of this year, correct. Those alterations,
Those are that's the only changes that have been made?
correct. No other changes have been made interior.
Okay.
It is located in an industrial zone, so it won't be an eyesore to anybody.
Sure. I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve a negative declaration on application 24-159. Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve application 24-159 for a period of 1 year. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Okay, thank you very much. And off the record, I would invite anybody if they'd like to come and visit. Since we're all among adults, I think, right? Thank you.
Mr. Shepherd will take care of that.
To show ID?
Next application is application 24-158 of New Security Collision, property located in Copeg.
Good evening. How is everybody?
All right.
Christine Gampiro, 315 Ralph Avenue, Copeg, New York.
Do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated September 4th, 2024. Environmental control memo dated September 10th, 2024. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. So there's no fire marshal or no Suffolk County,
We do have.
oh, fire marshal? No.
report dated
Oh, yeah, we just got it.
2024.
Okay.
There are some violations that he noted.
Did you get a copy of that, or?
Well, he was supposed to come back today because we rectified those issues.
I believe he said he was coming back next week.
Oh. Okay, I know he was there, I think, Tuesday, and he was aware of this meeting tonight, and he said he would be back. I have pictures of everything that was done, but,
He's got to go back there. 'cause
Okay.
He just sent this over today.
okay.
Oh, this is the one, Ralph Street. Wait, this is?
Right. Okay, so
This
he's
is
gonna come
Ralph
back next
Avenue?
week? Okay,
Yeah, right.
okay.
Okay, there's a number, yeah, all right. So there's a number of items here that you need to, So did you take care of these already?
Yes.
You just need them to come back and inspect?
Correct.
Okay, what would you like to tell us about the application?
Chairman, there's 4 photographs.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's site plan by Joseph T. Matthews dated November 8, 2012.
Okay.
What
Yeah,
can I
always
tell
like to
you?
tell us.
What can I tell you? I'm back. I'm back. I missed all of you. Let's still for the special use permit and for the outdoor storage. No, everything is the same as it was prior.
Okay, turn the hearing over to Mr. Dellavecchia.
Good evening. So nothing has changed since we last saw you?
No.
Okay. I mean, I was there today. Looks like you guys are doing well.
You were there?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we're hanging in there.
All right, good.
It's a rough industry.
Yeah. I mean, your lot looks packed, so that's a good sign.
Well, this week we did get a few more jobs in, thank God.
Good.
Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, it was clean. I have no further questions, and good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application?
Can I? Yes, yes. Can I would respectfully request at least what I had prior. If it does get approved, I was up to 3 years.
3 months?
What?
3 months?
3 months, yeah. Yeah, I love coming back here. No, but I mean, since I have been in this building, it was 1 year, 2 years. I was up to 3 years, and that's why when I saw this 6 months, I was like, what? I never saw that. But anyway, if we could do something, not that I don't want to see you gentlemen and ladies, but if you could consider that, I would appreciate it.
Take it into consideration.
Thank you.
Okay,
What about the conditions?
she agreed.
I agree.
Okay, so you got to take care of the fire marshal report, and the Suffolk County Planning will come to us. Oh, they can't? No? Oh, I'm according to this. No, we're still missing Suffolk County Planning.
What is that?
That has to do with.
Oh,
It just has to do, yeah, it's just, it's administrative. You don't have to
Okay.
worry about that,
Okay.
okay? Don't want to
Okay.
scare you anymore.
Thank you. Thank you. Just had to go have my hair dyed.
All right, so we're
It's all
going to
gray.
close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. We're going to keep the record open for Suffolk County Planning and for Fire Marshal. Okay? Thank you.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a great night.
You too. This concludes the live streaming portion of